See how being put away suits you, son." He never fiddled a lock again, until today. Easy. The door could have done with some oil on the hinges, squealing as he closed it behind him, but who was around to hear? They were all away, safe in the country, settling back into being normal. He wouldn't ever be normal again, he knew that. He'd seen what war could do, even when he was a child. He only had to look at his dad. Backstairs. He knew there were backstairs. There were always backstairs in a gaff like this, for the servants to move silently in and out of rooms in those days before 2 wars, when the sort of people who lived upstairs had lots of servants. Bloody servants were likely all dead. Hitler bombed the workers first. That's what his mum had told him in a letter. It was a note received a long time ago, before his own terror began. She told him they had bombed the docks and all them back-to-back houses in the East End at the same time. Their old house had gone. Lucky his mum and dad moved out of there when they had the chance, when he and his brother were still boys. Moved up in the world, his mum and dad, out of the East End and into the suburbs. He staggered up 3 flights, into a corridor of old servants' quarters, cast-iron bed frames with the mattresses rolled up and blankets stacked with pillows on top, all blue ticking and no covers. It was a wonder the mice hadn't had them, or the moths. Mind you, too cold for moths. He stared at the bedding. Soon sort that out, soon lay my bones down. He rolled out a mattress and pillow, all but fell onto the bed and pulled a blanket across his body. The sleep of the dead beckoned, like a soft hand taking his, while a voice whispered in his now half-conscious mind, "Rest now. Put your head on the pillow. Sleep, my dear big brother. Sleep." She had always come to him, his sister, every day when he buried another mate, another bag of bones to be laid to rest, or not, because he was sure even the dead didn't rest in that place. There was something coming for all of them. If it wasn't a bayonet in the gut, it was malaria, dysentery, beriberi cholera. But now he could settle. He was away from all that. "Tenko! Tenko! Tenko!" The man opened his eyes wide and screamed as the machete pressed into his back. "Hold on, mister. Hold on, you all right?" He turned and stared at the girl before him as he shimmied away, his back to the wall. "Don't be scared, mister. I only poked you with my finger. Thought it was time you woke up. You've been spark out for hours and hours. I brought you a cuppa. Bit weak. We don't have much here." "Who are you?" The man struggled to move again, to even breathe, the weight of blankets almost too much for his frame. "Might ask you the same question." The girl held the cup of tea. "You were shivering, so we put more blankets on you. Looked like you were all in." She reached forward to lift his head, but stopped when he flinched. "All right. Just try to sit up on your own." Still the man struggled, so with care, making sure he could see her hand as she moved toward him and slipped it under his head, she put the cup to his lips. "Here, get this down, you. We've made a fire downstairs in the kitchen. Bleemin' big house, this. So we're keeping to the kitchen and a couple of other rooms, bedding down there to keep warm when it's really cold." The man sipped the weak tea. "I asked you once, who are you?" "Me and my mates. We found out the place was empty and we moved in. Why not? The people what own it don't need it, do they? If they did, they'd be here living in the house. A lot of the toffs left these big houses and got out of London, you know, when the bombs came. And if the place isn't in use and you can find your way in, there's laws to protect you, squatters' rights and all that. If you can get through the door or a window what someone's left ajar, you might as well stay. Looks like you thought the same. It's cold in this place, though, but not as nippy as some of them barracks the Yanks left behind. Homeless people have moved into them, too." She looked at him as if he didn't quite grasp the situation. "There's tons of homeless now, everywhere. They reckon there's a couple 100,000 without a roof over their heads. Not just people like us, but whole families and children, and men and women with nowhere to go on account of all the houses bombed." He sipped more tea. "Don't you and your mates have family to take you each?"